Hi guys. So today's lesson is about pathogens. Um, my first question is, what are some things out in the environment that threaten our homeostasis, that make us sick? There's a lot of things out there, but we want to identify the various things or pathogens that attack us and how they disrupt our homeostasis, how they make us sick. Now, the word pathogenic means, so patho means disease. Gen means generate or create. So creates disease. So something pathogenic creates disease. Okay. One example is cancer. Cancer is just the abnormal growth of cells, but a lot of times it can be caused by things. All right, too much smoking, too much sun. So those things can be pathogenic. They can create disease. But today we really want to focus on the five main pathogens. And the five main pathogens are viruses, bacteria, fungi or fungus, protists, and worms, which are helminths, also called helminths. So those are the five pathogens. And you can stop if you want, or you can go on Google Classroom and open up the Google Slides pathogens one if you want. If you want to do a little search, that's fine. Examples of pathogenic worms, you can pause this and maybe take a look if you want to follow along, or you can just keep watching this video. First one is viruses. Viruses make us sick. All right, there's all sorts of different types of viruses. There's even this type of virus here, like this one actually attacks bacteria, believe it or not. It's called a bacteriophage. There's the chickenpox virus called varicella zoster, which affects our skin if you ever had chickenpox. EBV, the Epstein-Barr virus, makes us very tired. Here's the flu virus, makes us very sick if you ever had the flu. This is the hepatitis V virus. HIV, human immunodeficiency virus. All right. This one specifically attacks immune cells, our white blood cells. And if your immune cells aren't working, you can get very easily sick from other things, not just the HIV. Polio, the polio virus has been around for a while. We now have a vaccine for it, but for a while we did not have a vaccine for polio. It was invented by someone named Jonas Salk, right? But our president, Franklin Roosevelt, back in the when he was a kid, actually contracted polio, and he was in a wheelchair. So it affects the nerves. Polio virus is specific to nerve cells. Sometimes it attacks the nerves that help people breathe, and they had to be in these iron lungs. Not good. The coronavirus has these little spike things. These little spiky things on the outside of viruses are what allow them to attach to cells. And that's what they need to be able to do is to attach to a cell and then enter it. Viruses aren't really alive. They don't eat things or anything like that. They don't reproduce on their own. But how they make us sick is we breathe viruses in sometimes, or they get in some other way. They attach to our cells, they get in, and they make more of our cells. Now, this little picture here is showing our immune system kind of attacking it, right? So how do viruses do their damage? They get in, they got to attach to a cell, they get in, they make more viruses, and then they burst out and they spread out more, and in the process, they destroy the cell, releasing more viruses. Bacteria are another type of pathogen. There's all sorts of types of bacteria here. Here's the syphilis bacteria. They're bigger than viruses, but they're living things. They're organisms. They eat, they multiply and reproduce. They eat stuff. And some of them are going to make us sick. Here's E. coli. Okay. That's a lot of that. And that's like poop. I'm finding a lot of poop. This one is the Borrelia one, that causes Lyme disease. I don't know if you guys know what Lyme disease is. This is one that causes and gets in hot tubs and things. This one is Clostridium botulinum, which is used to make Botox, and it produces a really, really powerful toxin that can paralyze people. Not good. The bubonic plague was caused by a bacteria. It was in the fleas. The fleas were on the rats, and then the fleas jumped off the rats, bit people, and people got really, really sick. Many millions of people died over the years throughout history. Not anymore. We have antibiotics to fight it. Many bacteria they make us sick in different ways. They can produce toxins that make us sick. They can get into our cells and destroy our cells. Here's one getting into a cell. This one, H. pylori, actually causes stomach ulcers. And it gets into our stomach. All right. Protists are single-celled organism. This one is one we saw under the microscope, the amoeba. I don't know if you remember that, the little blob that kind of blobbed around on the microscope. There are certain ones that can really make us sick. Some are brain-eating. Yeah, they're really bad. This down here, those little things inside the red blood cells, those are plasmodium. That's what causes malaria. This is giardia. Don't ever drink from a stream. All right, that's where giardia is. This is trypanosoma, which causes African sleeping sickness. Ooh. Here's some more pictures of them. All right. Malaria. Here's the life cycle of malaria. Mosquito. It's in the mosquito. Mosquito bites someone. These things get in. They multiply in the liver and in the red blood cells, and then they get out. Another mosquito bites a person who's sick, takes it, and goes off to someone else. Mosquitoes are what we call vectors. They don't get sick from it. They just transmit it to other people. Vector. Worms. Ugh, worms are gross, right? If we don't eat clean food that's clean or water that's clean, it can be in there. Ugh, look at these things. They get into us. They can hook onto our intestines inside of our digestive tract. They can get into our skin. Really gross. Ugh. This is trichinosis. This is a worm. This is muscle tissue. This is a worm that gets into muscle tissue and can be very, very bad. It used to be an uncooked, if you didn't cook pork real well, people could get trichinosis. Ugh, yucky. Ugh, that's horrible. This is the guinea worm. That's horrible. It's coming out of someone's foot. Supposedly, Jimmy Carter, the U.S. president back in the late 70s, has worked very hard to get rid of this, so it isn't a problem anymore. But you have to pull it out little by little. Ugh, yuck. That's gross. These guys are lice. It's not really a disease, but I just thought it was interesting. There's two different lice. There's lice that go in the hair, right, up in our hair, and then there's lice that actually goes in our private areas. Okay, they're actually two different species of lice, believe it or not. You don't want those guys. Yuck. There's also fungus, like athlete's foot. So this is somebody's mouth who has thrush, and that's because they have candida, and that's a lot of times from eating too much, too much sugar, too much sweet stuff, too much bread and stuff. There's a lot of different. This one causes pneumonia, pneumocystis. This is, I forgot. I think this is the one that causes athlete's foot. Kind of gross. All right. These things will actually consume. So when someone has a fungus on them, growing on them, the fungus is actually eating our tissue. It's actually eating the person. It's kind of gross. Ugh. So pathogens are all around us, and they're trying to get into us and disrupt our homeostasis. And it's our immune system that's there to fight it off. And we're gonna, in the days to come and the weeks to come, we're gonna figure out how our immune system does that and keeps us healthy. Because if it didn't work, we'd never be here. All these things would kill us. They'd kill us, and we wouldn't be around. But over many, many thousands of years, our immune system has developed to fight all those pathogens. Remember, the pathogens are viruses, bacteria, protists, fungus, and worms. Okay, if we go back through our 5. All right, we got viruses, bacteria, protists, and worms. All right. I hope you pay attention and enjoy that little lesson. Bye.